Hello, this is G. Bailey, and welcome back to Let's Play SimCity. Let's start building our first full city of the game. There's two ways you can do this. You could start a new city and select a map with some amount of land and water. You'll have access to gifts, all the difficulty modes, gameplay mechanics, all the bells and whistles of the game. Or, if you completed the first 6 scenarios, you would have unlocked Freedom City, which is a completely empty map of 120 by 100 tiles, all land, no water, though you still need a seaport for some reason. The goal here is to build a megalopolis of 500,000 people, though there is something special if you get up to 600,000, so that's what I'm going to be going for here. So, let's get started. I want to build a stadium to satisfy the residential zone level check. So let's just put one right up here. Make sure you've got a 7 tile gap between that and the upper left corner. I'm going to be putting something else there eventually, and then we'll just forget about the stadium. See, with the nuclear power plant, I want to have room for a couple more of those down here when I need them eventually. I'm building just one fire department because, well, the people will complain if I don't, and being somewhat a scenario, we don't have access to gifts, and we're stuck on easy difficulty there by the game level, so natural disasters are almost completely non-existent. They can happen, I've seen it, but it's extraordinarily rare. At the middle of the map, yeah, we got a picture of a head of Mario with the M on his cap and everything, but yeah, I mean, that doesn't, like, do anything for us other than it increases land value a little bit, but that's it. Okay, so I want to start by building 10 commercial zones. Let's see, yeah, we gotta go over here. Okay, and then I'm going to build a lot of residential zones to start out here, since, well, this is a scenario, we don't have gifts, so that means schools and hospitals are completely worthless here, so there's no point in holding back my development of all the zones I'm going to be placing around here. And I want to have the residential zones in the middle of the city, because that's where the land value is going to be. Okay, that ought to be good. And then with the industrial zones, I'm going to place them on the very edge of the map, or at least pretty close to there, because some of the pollution will spill over the edge of the map, and then it'll be someone else's problem. It's another town, whatever they got going on over there. Not my problem anymore. Not my backyard. And let's see, here I want to do this a little differently. 3 and 2 instead of like the 2 and 2 I was doing over there. That ought to be good enough. So I want to have 17 industrial zones because, well, at maximum, they would get up to 68 industrial zone levels, and if you hit 70, the citizens are going to want a seaport, and I'm not going to have the money for that by the time I'm done with everything here. Okay, so get everything built up there. Let's get rails to connect everything. I'm using a column build for this city instead of a donut build. I mean, we don't have gifts, so there's really no reason to build donuts on this map. And part of how I've built my residential zones is not just in columns like that, but also to enhance population density, which I've only recently learned is a factor in residential zone development. The way population density works, I'm not going to be able to really show it to you here, but I'll show you where you can look it up eventually. So let's see, this one will show population density. We just don't have anything there yet. But every pixel on the map is an area of 2 by 2 for population density. And let's see. So let me give you an example here. So like these two zones, the 2 by 2 area for the population of this residential zone is based on which 2 by 2 area the center tile is located. So in this case, the center tile of the upper zone here is in a 2 by 2 region that is next to another 2 by 2 region with the center of a residential zone. So their population will be more dense that way. But if I took this residential zone and put it over here instead, the 2 by 2 area, they would have a gap in between the two, and the residential zone over here would have a much more difficult time developing. Same thing down here with these two, placing them vertically instead of horizontally. Okay, so let's get the rest of the rails built up here. And then I want to use some parks to help the land value of the commercial zone. This is why I've put a gap between the commercial zones and the other zones, so that way I have room for parks. So land value, well, it does use 2 by 2 also, but it also uses 4 by 4. So in this case, that's where the center tile of the 4 by 4 region will be. I could have built these rails up a little more and filled them in with parks, but that would be more expensive than what I'm going to do instead. So let's see, here's another 4 by 4 region. Let's see, we got this one here. Yeah, might as well keep going. Let's see, with this one, yeah, there's that 4 by 4. Then we got another one for this one here. And then for these two, we got that 4 by 4 area. And then this one, go like that. That'll cover this commercial zone. Let's see, for the next one, yeah, we don't have much to help this one out. But it's not that big of a deal because these are going to be at the center of the city. So their land value is naturally going to be really, really good anyway. Okay, and then let's see. Down here. Yeah, 4 by 4 area for that commercial zone is there. And I want to have more parks over here, because these are going to be the farthest from the center of the city. So I'm going to need more parks to enhance their land value. So I'll build everything I can. Okay, that ought to be good enough. Let's get some power connected to all of the zones then. So I want to be careful not to go over the parks. That's why I built the parks first. Okay, get all that going. Let's see, for this one, that ought to be good enough there. Let's see, let's get that connected. Okay, and then for these... Okay, so all those are connected now. Back around to get that one. Okay, that ought to be good enough. Now, one of the most important aspects to building a full city is valid destinations, because, well, a full city is going to be a lot bigger than, like, the practice island or the scenarios that I was working on there, because we have a lot more land here. The general idea is that a residential zone needs to be close to somewhere the residents can go to work or spend money. So, like, valid destinations would include commercial zones and industrial zones. But they also include almost everything on this list: police departments, fire departments, an open stadium, like the one I've got here, not a dome stadium. If you build a stadium during February, March, or April, it'll be a dome stadium. So only open stadiums are valid destinations for some reason, as it should be. Seaport and coal power plants are valid destinations, but not nuclear power plants for some reason. Airports are as well, and any gifts you have, but, I don't have gifts in this scenario, so that doesn't help. Basically, if valid destinations are too far from the residential zones, then the residential zone won't develop, and if they developed a little bit already, they might actually regress their development. So the way the game checks for valid destinations is extremely buggy. Yeah, I know that's a real shock to you viewers. But, you can work around the bugs. So, like, first, the game checks above the upper left tile of a residential zone, and then it checks there for a tile of transit, which we already have here. But if you didn't, then it would go clockwise around the 12 tiles that are adjacent to the residential zone until it finds a tile of transit. And then after that, it chooses a random direction from that tile, whether, like here, it would be up or down, and then it'll proceed clockwise up to 30 tiles away from the zone until it finds a valid destination. If it hits a dead end, like over here, it's supposed to backtrack and then continue on as normal, but it's bugged and it just stops there. So that can be a problem with their development. Commercial and industrial zones are also supposed to look for a residential zone near them, but that's bugged too, so they only look for transit connected to them. Just one tile would even be good enough. And finally, if you're using roads instead of rails, the route used to find the valid destination will have its traffic increased. But I'm using rails, so I don't have to deal with that problem. So, what I want to do is build some police departments, which not only will reduce crime, but they'll also create some valid destinations for my residential zones. So, let's see what we can do with that. Now, I want to put the first ones up top by the intersections, so that way it'll block any residential zones that are trying to go away from the commercial zones. Like over here, they might start going up, then all the way over here, and yeah, they'll run out of the 30 tiles before they hit something. So what I want to do is put a couple police departments. Let's see, right here and right here. They might look like they're really close together, but this is like the lower right of the 8x8 region of police coverage, and this one's like at the upper left. So they're not as close as they might seem. Eventually, though, I will want to fill out these roads with valid destinations. So, yeah, I don't have industrial zones over here, but eventually I will put, like, some police departments. I'm almost using the police departments more for a valid destination than the actual reduction of crime. Okay, and then, let's see, I want to reduce the funding for the fire department to 71%. Same with the police department, since there's not really a lot of people around here yet, but eventually I'll bring that back up to 100%. And why don't we reduce the tax rate to 5% to help boost zone demand early on? And then I think we'll be good to go. Okay, everything is all powered up. Let me, well, hold on a sec. Let me get some population going. Okay. So let me check the map here. So if you want to check your city for power, just check over here. If it's orange, you're good. Green, it doesn't have power. And let's see. Let me see if I got some population density yet. Okay, well, there's not really a whole lot going on. But basically, like, for every little dot or pixel you see there is 2x2 tiles. Maybe I'll get some more as the city starts developing here. But yeah, no mayor's house gift for becoming a town. So we're just stuck with what we got. So yeah, all of these commercial zones are developing into the high class, which can potentially create a C-top. That's basically what I'm going for here. I'm not going to be able to get all of them to become C-tops. I mean, these ones I will, but like through the whole city, no, I don't think that's possible. But I will see what I can do with all that. Alright, there we go. Just blazing through the development. I'm also going to be extending the usual episode length because building a full season, or a full city, is time consuming. So yeah, you see like on the left there you got well, yeah, like here, you see you got a little one green dot there, the light green one there. So that's a 2x2 tile, or region, for the residential zones. I'm not going to get all of my residential zones into R-tops. Some of them I will, but most of them not. I'm not really concerned about that. I mostly am concerned about the commercial zones, because they're going to basically act as a barrier between the residential zones and the industrial zones. Eventually, I will fill out this part with residential zones, and this part with industrial zone. Yeah, that part with industrial zones. So basically, the city is going to kind of be built like a diamond, with the residential zones in the middle, then a layer of commercial zones, and then a layer of, what was the other one? Oh yeah, industrial zones there. Now, I think it's worth increasing the tax rate and police funding there. I could have built another police department, but it'll be fine. I mean, there's probably going to be complaints about crime. But yeah, I'm not going to worry about that in the early going, that is. Eventually, though, yeah, I will want to build more police departments. So now I'm basically waiting for the commercial zones to merge together to create C-tops. Please don't merge the two middle ones together. That would be annoying. Then I'd have to start all over with that. Okay, so our RCI demand is pretty much at max now, so why don't we go up to 8% on taxes, and hopefully that won't hurt my zone demand very much. I don't want to go up to 9 yet. Okay, good. We got our first C-top there. And I'm not in a rush for these to become tops. There's not really going to be a whole lot to do. Basically, my first objective is to save up $5,000 to build a seaport. Yes! The commercial zones merged properly. Very nice. Okay, how are we doing now? Yeah, we're going to need a little more help. I was thinking about increasing the tax rate, but I'd rather wait for more development. Yeah, the industrial zones are a bit ahead of everything else. They develop no matter what. As long as they got a tile of transit next to them. So I can wait for the industrial zones to do their thing. Okay, now we've got the money. Let's see what I can do here. Okay, so let's put a police department here to serve as a valid destination at the end of this track. And then over here, let's see. I don't know if I have enough money for this. Well, let's find out. Okay, so down here, let's see, I think this is about where I want that police department to go. Yeah, okay. And then right there, that should be good enough. Now let's try that one again. Whoops. I really don't want to waste my money here and get everything to be quite precise early on. Okay, so now that I've got a valid destination here, these residential zones should be able to develop better. So yeah, make sure you've already got power and transit connected to the police department so they can work their magic, reduce the crime. So basically I think I've got all of the residential zones locked in with some valid destination. So we don't need to worry about that for their development. Sometimes if you don't have a valid destination, you'll see your residential zones kind of flicker, like between R4 and R3 or something. And that's because they went to a valid destination, or well, they tried, but then they hit a dead end or something and they regressed some of their development. So I want to keep this as stable as I can. Yeah, there we go. Another C-top. I think we can handle going up to 9% now. But we'll see about that. I'm not worried about industrial zone demand. I mean, it would be nice if it was maxed out. And it will be soon. But not quite yet. Uh-oh. Yeah, some of the residential zones are still having a little bit of trouble. But we got all of the commercial zones developed. I might need to reduce the tax rate a little bit until all the residential zones finish developing. I'm almost certain I'm going to need to do that, but I'll leave it for now. Okay, so now, let's see, let's put another valid destination around here. Well, let me see if I really need it. Let's see, okay, 6, and then, let's see, 18, so 24, 25. Yeah, that's too far for the upper zone here, that is. So, put another one here. That's also in a separate 8x8 region for the police coverage from the other two there. Get that connected, and then everything should be good there. Okay, let's see where the crime is happening. Do the crime, you do the time. Oh yeah, you can see the population density much more now. Oh, right, I was looking for crime there. Get that over there. Okay, so the zones are developing, so crime isn't a huge deal right now, but I want to get that out of the way. So let's see, if I put one, I think right here, that ought to be good. Yeah, we'll start with that and go from there. So basically, I just want to stamp out crime before I really start saving up my money to build a seaport. Yeah, let's keep an eye on the residential zone development. Wow, I'm surprised industrial zone demand is falling quite that much. Not that it's a big deal, but it might hurt residential growth eventually. but we'll see. Who knows? You've got plenty of valid destinations. Yeah, I'm just going to stick with 9% for now. Yeah, once the residential zone's fully developed, then the industrial zone demand should come back eventually. Kind of stuck there a little bit. Yeah, why don't we lower taxes a little bit? Try to get that industrial zone demand back. There you go. If I can get that by the end of the year, that would be really nice. Just get everything up to max, and my zone should be perfectly balanced. Or the zone demand should be. Well, not quite yet, but we're getting there. Okay, how are we doing here? Well, better. Not quite where I want to be yet, though. Let's see what else we can do with crime. Okay, so if I put one around here, that should be good enough for most of what I want to do. So let's see, right there. That should take care of any crime. The reason why we're seeing such an increase in crime is because of the population density that is a factor in crime. Okay, now we've gotten all my zones maxed out. We've got a 9% tax rate. Yeah, everything is maxed out as far as it can go. I mean, I could build R-tops, but I'm not gonna. It's as, well, good as it needs to be for what I want to do. Now, by the way, I think I said so a little bit earlier, but I'm going to be making these episodes for the full city build considerably longer because, well, full cities take a long time to build. I also plan to build a full city with gifts and everything, like on normal or hard difficulty. I did have a couple other ideas about building a full city, like maybe build one on an island map. I mean, it would be much bigger than Practice Island, of course. Or I could build a city using mostly roads and have to deal with traffic and pollution. So I have some ideas, but let me know what you think, viewers. I mean, I could just do the 2 cities that I'm already planning. But if you can't get enough of that, I have some other ideas of what I can do. But can we save enough money to build a seaport? Find out next time on Let's Play SimCity. This is H.G. Bailey, signing off. Have a good day.